Hey everybody, welcome to Ready Set Drone. I am truly excited today. Sometimes I say I'm excited and I'm a little excited, but today I'm off the chain excited because I've got the brand new DJI Spark right here with me. We are gonna take it out, set it up, and show it to you, so stay tuned. The DJI Spark is a quadcopter that is designed to be used by families, people who want to go on vacation and take video, and people who are on a bit of a budget. It's going to be way less money than anything else in the DJI line currently. It has a 2-axis gimbal built in, so you can take amazing video and photography. It does not shoot 4K, but it does 1080. And so if you want to do video, most hobbyists and families aren't necessarily shooting 4K, so it's not designed for professionals, but full 1080 HD is going to look really great. And it is tiny. How small is it? Well, let's take a look. I've got it right here, and boom, there it is. Comes in multiple colors, and I have to say, when I saw this thing, I was just surprised, totally surprised by how small it is. It actually is supposed to be able to land directly in your hand and take off from your hand, which I've actually done a couple of times. I've flown it twice now in preparation for this because I didn't want to know nothing about it the first time I showed it to you. But it is designed to be flown by people who aren't necessarily experienced drone pilots. So for comparison's sake, let's take a look at it next to the DJI Mavic. So I have a Mavic right here, and it's folded up. You can see comparatively the folded up Mavic is significantly bigger than the Spark. And then when you unfold the arms on the Mavic, what used to look like a tiny little thing compared to other drones now looks like a bit of a giant, or a lanky teenager, and this is the baby. So boom, there it is. So the actual measurements of the Spark are 143 millimeters square. It's a perfect square between the motors, and that does not include the props, and 55 millimeters tall. So it does actually sit on its battery. So you can see right under here is the camera with the 2-axis gimbal, and the battery is right under here. Now what's nice is when you take the battery off and you set it down, there's still these two little bumpers to protect it from sitting on the camera or from hitting the camera, which it also does when the battery's on. But even just sitting like this, it's going to lay on its back legs, and it's going to sit right there on those two little bumpers. That way you're not beating your camera around. This is an early model. This is actually not the full production model, but it is supposed to be 95% of the production model. I think mostly it's software tweaks at this point from what I understand. I don't think there is a gimbal guard, something I don't know yet, but the one I have didn't come with one. The battery is a 1480 milliamp hour 3S battery. It has two little latches over on the side that allow you to connect it and disconnect it. And it has the standard DJI way of telling its charge level. You push this button once and the lights light up. 4 lights means I've charged it. You push this button twice, once and then again, and hold it down, and it actually starts the thing up. And that's also how you kill it. The top does come in multiple colors. I happen to have the green one. I like this color a lot. It does have a micro SD slot in the back. Now I had a bit of trouble finding it. It's right under this. You see this little thing that says Spark here? When you lift this up, there's a USB port and a micro SD slot right in there. So pretty clever place to hide it, and not real obvious, but you just put your fingernail into there and pull it up, and your micro SD card goes under there. It also has a huge sensor here in the front. This thing is designed for interacting with people. And what do I mean by that? Well, part of the charm of this thing is it's designed to fly by gesture. So you're going to be able to use your hand, your palm, different gestures to make it do different things. I haven't figured all that out yet. I am going to do another video, of course, where I fly it extensively and try all the gesture stuff. But in this video, just here's the point. This big sensor in the front is designed for that gesture motion control. Of course, it does have collision avoidance, has cameras in the bottom for locating its position as well as collision avoidance. So let's take a look in the box here, which, by the way, this is a really cool box. It's just some sort of synthetic polypropylene styrofoam kind of thing, but it's real lightweight, seems to protect it really well. You can put it in with the battery on, and all of your props will fit in here. And currently, I actually only have 4 props. That's all that was given to me, and so I've been really careful with the props. I've actually been using the prop guards. So let me show you real quick how the props go on. I was glad to see that they use the same method that the Mavic uses. Basically, there's a white circle in the middle of this prop. There's a white stripe on this motor. Guess what? These two are, this is where this one goes. This one does not have a white stripe, and this one does not have a white circle. So this goes here. And of course, the same prop goes diagonally. So what you do is you take the prop, you put it on, you push down on it, and there's a spring, and then you rotate the motor, and you're going to rotate the motor, I guess, in the same direction that the prop spins. So this is a counterclockwise prop, so I rotated the motor counterclockwise to lock the prop. I'll do the other one over here, same way, find the sweet spot. You don't even have to look, you can just kind of put it on there, push down, and when you feel it go down, you're in the right place. Just obviously don't do it too hard, be careful. And then these two are going to rotate clockwise because they're clockwise rotations, and that locks. And you can really feel when it locks on there, it's nice and tight. Very tight clearance between these props, by the way, when it's flying. You can see, look at those two right there, look how close they get together. So this is going to be another clockwise. So put this guy on. All right, I've got all 4 props on. And again, just amazed by that tight tolerance between the propellers when they're spinning. But that's great. It makes it as small as it can possibly be. It's a very solid feeling quad. As a matter of fact, it weighs more than it looks like it's going to weigh. With the battery and the propellers, it's 300 grams. So, decent amount of weight for a quad this size. But you got to think there's just a ton of electronics and sensors and everything packed into this thing. And the materials are pretty high quality. I mean, these arms feel like they're pretty rugged and would take a crash pretty well. It does come with 4 prop guards. And I'm usually not a big fan of prop guards. They make it heavier, more susceptible to wind, and I'm a decent enough pilot that I don't feel like I'm going to hit anything. But with this guy, there's 2 reasons I'm using the prop guards. Number 1, I don't have any spare props, and so I don't want to damage the propellers that I do have. And number 2, this thing is designed to be flown inside, hand caught, etc. And so prop guards are probably a good idea if you're going to be doing those kind of things with it. So I've just decided to go ahead and use the prop guards on it. So the prop guards are pretty ingenious. It took me a minute to figure out how to put them on. You basically lift up this little latch, and this opens up a slot right here, and you can see there's an opening. And then they go up, and what you do, it doesn't matter, they're universal. Each one will go on any of the motors. You slip it in like this, and then you rotate it, and once it reaches that point, you put this little housing and it clicks. So now that prop guard is on. Go ahead and put all 4 of them on. All right, so there it is with the prop guards. Look at that guy. Is that not cool? Spin it around and kind of show you what the camera looks like. As I said, it's a 2-axis gimbal, not a 3-axis gimbal. So what that means is that it's going to compensate in 2 directions, whereas gimbal on a Phantom 4 or a Phantom 3 or a Mavic or any other bigger quad is going to be a 3-axis gimbal and give you a little bit more stability. But I actually shot a little bit of footage with this, and it quite honestly looks pretty good. This actually has up to 16 minutes of flight time. So it says up to. So it's going to depend on the wind, it's going to depend on the mode you're in, it's going to depend on how you're flying it. Might even depend on whether you have the prop guards on or not. Maybe it's going to fly a little bit longer without them because there's less weight, but up to 16 minutes. So let's say a solid 12 or 13 minutes, and then 14, 15, 16 is going to be variable. So let me talk about the control for a second. This version that I have is only able to fly with Wi-Fi, and the reason is because I don't have a remote control. I think this one actually probably would fly with a remote control, but it isn't out yet. So I've just got the app on my phone. It is the DJI Go 4 app, and it's been updated to include this. And it is actually going to allow you to fly with this and do all the things you can do with DJI Go or DJI Go 4. But it is a new version of DJI Go 4 that's coming out for this. Now, with the Wi-Fi only, I believe you can get about 70 meters of distance. The range is limited. It says 2,000 meters of distance with the remote control, which obviously is like 20 football fields, so that's a big difference as far as how much range you get. Now it does have all the usual stuff. It has return to home. As I said before, it has obstacle avoidance. So all of those things are going to help you. Even if you did fly it out of range, it should come back to you when it gets out of range. What I'm going to do is go ahead and turn the Spark on. So I'm just going to push this button twice. Let it boot up and go to my Wi-Fi. Now you're going to get a little symbol here that says no internet connection. That's just part of it because you're not connected. This thing's not giving you any sort of internet connection. So I should be connected now. Oh, one other important thing. When you take the battery out, the Wi-Fi password and the Wi-Fi network name are inside the battery compartment. So you'll notice that the lights have stopped blinking like mad now that these two are connected. And I've got the DJI Go 4 app open. I'm going to hit start flight, and you'll see I get my live camera view and all the normal stuff that's in DJI Go. You definitely want to calibrate your compass and go ahead and hit the auto takeoff. Oh, that's not the auto takeoff. The auto takeoff. Slide this over, let go. And there it is. Now I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit. Bring it over towards George a little bit, rotate a little bit. Do a full 360 with the yaw. And now I'm gonna slide around a little bit. Now I'm just gonna kind of scoot it around a little bit. Yeah, just stay right in front of it. That's cool. I'm seeing you and you're seeing it. All right, now I'm gonna try just kind of jetting through the office a little bit. Not super fast, but just check out the sensors in the front. You can really see those things are just going. I imagine, again, that's what you're going to use for if you wanted to do any sort of gesture control, you would use those sensors. So now let me see if I can actually land it in my palm as they advertise. So bringing it back to myself. Now it doesn't have a backward facing sensor, so I could hit myself. Oh, and now I'm going to come down. Landed in the palm. Check that out. Now, I was going to show you one other thing too. Let's just look at the rotation on the gimbal. So the gimbal is activated right now. So I don't know that it doesn't do anything with that, but it does do something with that. You can see that stabilizes as I move it back and forth. It is keeping itself level, and then as I move it this way, it also keeps itself level. So that's the 2-axis gimbal. All right, so the DJI Spark. I'm going to just give you my first impressions. I have flown it a total of 4 times now. I got it yesterday, and that was my 4th flight that you just saw here in the office. I flew it once in my living room, very first time, just syncing everything up. I have a big open living room, just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to do a flyaway on me or anything. It was fine. I flew it once in my backyard, pretty windy conditions, and it did fine out there as well. I flew it once outside of my office, just in a little grassy area. Again, did just fine. And then I flew it here. And I have to say, here was my toughest flight so far that you just saw. And the reason is because of the obstacle avoidance. There's just lots of stuff. There's lights, there's cameras, there's microphones, there's my camera guy. I mean, all that stuff was sort of impeding its path, and it stopped a lot. So I would say if you're going to try and fly it indoors, you're going to want to be in a big open space, you know, more of an open kind of high ceiling living room or someplace without a lot of furniture or things hanging down. And also you're going to want to play with the obstacle avoidance sensors and just see what settings those need to have in order to be able to fly it around. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this overview. I wouldn't call this a review, but it was a good overview of the DJI Spark. I'm really excited about this thing. It's definitely going to fill a need as far as price point goes. There aren't a lot of quads out there. I did a video earlier this year, best quads under $1,000. And there's a big jump when you get from about 300 bucks up to $1,000. And so if this falls in the $400, $500, $600 range, even with the remote control that is supposed to come out for it, I imagine that'll take it up a little bit higher. It's still, if it's in that between $400 and $700 range, that's a pretty good spot because there aren't other quads that really compete in that range that I know of. There's a few, but DJI, love them or hate them, they know their stuff, and this thing is very well built from what I've seen so far. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Really appreciate DJI giving me the opportunity to make this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. Gonna do a lot more videos with the Spark. Gonna compare it to the Mavic. Gonna race it like a racer, gonna try it with the goggles, all that good stuff. So if you like to see those things, subscribe and you'll see them next time you tune in to Ready, Set, Drone. Thanks for watching.